Miss Bree Clarke.
I've never had anyone interview and talk about me. They just talk about what I do, what I've done. Life is hard, and it gets harder. People just don't talk about the hard parts of life.
You received backlash after allegations of
Yes.
not paying small businesses and what some would call bullying. Do you feel like any of those allegations back then were warranted?
Have you talked to any of the people who accused you of anything since then? What was that dark space for you?
I didn't want to be here.
Have you thought about getting you a buffer in between? Maybe you need a little publicist or PR. I'm just saying.
So
have
in
you thought
Houston,
about
I
getting
did-
your little buffer.
But so I did in Houston.
Okay.
So like, I mean, and see, that has helped out a bunch.
I'm just
Like,
saying.
okay, it
I'm
has
just
helped
saying.
out a bunch. So like in 2021, I did get one after like the stuff happened.
Yes.
I got one in Houston for me.
Yeah.
And
Did
yeah.
you like it?
yeah,
It was good.
loved
okay.
it. Yeah.
All right.
So
you gonna get one in Dallas?
I needed to get one in Dallas.
Okay, all
I
right.
needed
I'm
one
just
in
saying
Dallas.
somebody. I'm a very direct person,
Yeah.
and I know that I'm always like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Like it's this, it's that, it's not that, it's not this.
Yeah.
Right. And so I can understand that when the way you are saying certain things may
Yeah.
not come across the way certain people take them.
Exactly.
Et cetera.
Yeah.
How long has it been since you actually had an interview, just talking, like just having a conversation? How long has it been?
Years.
It's been years, right?
Yes.
Okay. So how have you been?
I've been good now.
Now.
Now. I've been good now. It's been, it's been a season. It's been seasons. I feel that I've never had anyone interview and talk about me. They just talk about what I do, what I've done. Like it's the plants,
Yeah.
like what you grow, what you create, what you go. But nobody's ever just interviewed Bree.
Well,
Ever.
let me interview Bree. How's Bree doing right now? Like,
Bree is
truthfully, tell me how you're doing.
Bree is tired,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a good tired. It's like it's a tired where I see that all the reason that I'm tired and the reason that I feel the way I feel is just all the work that I've done, all the work that I put through, been through, and it's like it just feels good. It feels like I'm reaching a goal that I never thought I could reach.
You talked about seasons,
Yeah.
right? We all go through
yeah.
and grow through.
Yeah, just
different
like our
seasons.
plants.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about the plant project. You have multiple locations now. You have your wellness retreat. That's something else that you've been doing.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking engagements, of course. But I really want to focus on, again, talking about you and really like, how do you keep up with everything that you have going on?
Oh, I don't.
Okay.
Like,
All right.
I
Keep
don't.
it up. Okay.
There's no balance. You know, when
Okay.
people are like, how do you follow? There's no balance.
Uh-huh.
There's no balance in motherhood, being a business owner, being a wife, being a partner, being a mother. My mom texted me and called me 5 times this morning, and I still haven't been able to text her back. And so, I mean, it's no balance in it. I mean, I feel like that when people say like, oh, you just have to balance it all or find the balance in the middle, it never happens.
I always hate that question
Yeah.
when people ask me like, girl, what's the balance?
No.
What balance?
What balance?
What balance? And I don't even have children, but what balance,
Yeah.
honey? You did just mention, right? You're a mom, you're a wife. Obviously, you're helping with your family.
And my dad lives with me.
Your dad lives
Yeah.
with you. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Your 2 sons are
Twin boys.
finally teenagers.
I still think preteen, but I guess 13 is
preteen.
teenagers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look, I don't know the correct terminology, but they 13, about
They're
to
13,
be.
yeah.
Okay. So I do want to talk about really just balancing. You said this publicly before, like your son, one of them has autism, right?
Yeah.
And so I do want to ask you, like, how do you treat your business, right? Or has that shaped the way that you behave, like in your business? Because
That's
you
fine.
have
I never
a
really
son.
talk about Gail. Like with this
Yeah.
Thanks for bringing it up. Nobody ever brings up
Mm-hmm.
Gator.
So answer that for me. Like, how do you balance that? And has it really shaped how you behave in your business or do business?
That's the first time I've ever had that question. You know, with Gator, we were just talking about this last night, Carlos and I. So they always go play basketball at the rec center right by the house. And it was a little later. They got home at 10:30, closes at 10. And I was just like, oh, they're taking like a little time or whatnot. And Carl's like, oh, just outside talking. And we were just in the car talking, catching up with Gator. Autism is just something that we really do not speak about, especially in the Black community. And it's something that I remember when the teachers came to me, and I had this amazing teacher that was like, hey, Gator needs a little more help. Needs to be not just taken out the class, but we get in a smaller setting. And she was scared to actually come to me and talk to me and tell me like, hey, he may need this, because she just like, as a Black mom and just as a Black woman, you just really don't think of like ADHD, and you don't think of autism and on the spectrum and stuff. And those are just terms that you think about in just a different skin color or whatnot. So, when I had that conversation with her and got him just early on help, it just made me like really see like what Kel needed, what Gator needed, the conversations that we needed to have with the teachers, be his advocate, be the one that spoke up for him. And really like, I spent a lot of time at the schools, spent a lot of time with that. And when you spend a lot of time, people just look at you as a business owner in the plant project, and you're just doing these events and doing these workshops and stuff, but they don't see all the behind the scene of like the parent teacher meetings, the sitting down with your kids, go seeing what's going on with them. And just like, it's so much. It's too much. It's a lot for the strongest person, the person with the most money, the most help. And I mean, my dad lives with us, and I have help from that. But it's like my dad moved in with me and supposed to be for 6 months, and it was because he was sick, and he's there for 7 years. So, I mean, it's a lot.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's a journey.
It's a lot. Yeah.
Has it shaped at all how you run your business?
It has. When I'm winning in life, I'm not winning my business. When I'm winning in motherhood, I'm failing my business. When I'm winning in my business, I'm failing in motherhood. It shaped me to give myself more grace and to understand that I'm going through all the motions, and I'm going through the journey, and I'm going through the season, and it's okay to go through each step. I happen to go through them a little bit more publicly because I am such a public voice, and the things that I've created, I wanted to create for my community, for the community, to bring everyone together. So, I mean, I just happen to go through what other women go through and other mothers go through, but just a little bit more eyes on me.
Yeah. I want to address that too, because you mentioned quite a few words that I feel like are always attributed to Black women, but it's titles that really I wish we didn't have to carry. So you mentioned being strong, right? You mentioned even the strongest person, go through different moments of, I don't want to call it a weakness, but we go through moments, right? Yeah. And so I just want to talk about that. I absolutely. Yeah. I want to talk about that. And I really want to talk about, how does Bree prioritize? I know we're in the public eye. I get it. Yeah. But how do you prioritize your mental well-being? Because there are a lot of moments that happen behind the scenes that a lot of folks don't see. You mentioned the parent-teacher conferences and all of that. Yeah. I can tell you, I saw a shirt the other day on Instagram, and I immediately bought it. The shirt said, "I cried today." Yeah. Okay. And I want to talk about those moments again that people don't see, but I want to talk about how you have been balancing and prioritizing your mental, truthfully, your mental well-being.
I'll be honest, I've been going through a really tough, mental, but I just told Carlos this yesterday. I was like, I think that I'm just like, I have so much going on in my head and so much stuff to do and so many tasks and things to create. And it's like, as a creative, you're just constantly thinking about stuff you're doing, not just for yourself, for others. So it's just like I'll get out of the car, I don't turn it off, and I'm just like, oh, well, I'm thinking about something else, and I'm grateful to have a partner that just is there and just helps me through figure this stuff out. But I love to cook, so that's kind of my way. People are like, "Oh, you're always cooking." I have plant and prosecco on Sunday, and I did that until 3 or 4 o'clock. Then 5 o'clock, I'm making smothered chicken because that's my self-care. I love TV and movies. I'm a huge movie buff, so I love going to the movies and just completely just unplugging and just vegging out, sneaking food in sometimes.
Now we got our big bag. Come on, please. We know.
And just watch. My mom used to take me to the movies every Friday. Wow. So I'm a huge movie buff. So I do a lot of things and then I started traveling. I started actually leaving, and I go by myself. I'll get a trip real quick. Wednesday, I'll be like, hey, I want to leave. Friday, I'm gone.
Okay.
So I started doing that more, and it took me a while. It took me 17 years to.
I'm
do
obsessed
that.
with you saying you go to the movies. Like,
I love
it's
the
such a
movies.
pastime, and people don't
Yeah.
appreciate going to the movies
No,
anymore.
and during the week, in the middle
Yeah.
of the day, like, try it.
I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
I do want to go into some other conversations. So you stress the importance of representation.
Mhm.
You and I know the importance of that, right? And I'm
Yeah.
sure a lot of others do as well. What are you doing to continue to push the needle forward in your business as well as in life when it comes to representation?
I feel like representation is so important, just not in just the color.
Mm-hmm.
It's supporting your shape,
Mm-hmm.
your size,
Mm-hmm.
your background, your religion, your walk of life.
Mm-hmm.
I have a background. I share it all the time. I never hide it. I've been in the lowest low. I've been homeless. I've slept in my car. I've had been in jail. Like I feel like representation, all those things
Sure.
matter, because
Sure.
so many people are seeing other people do stuff. They think they have it all together. They think they have all the credit, all the business stuff, all the ideas, a business plan, and all the motherhood, all the things figured out, and they don't know like the struggle that you continue to go through to do it all and to figure it out and to keep going. And so representation is so important. I talk about it, of course, in the plants, and how that no matter your walk of life, color, background, idea, that we want you to feel like you belong when you walk in the plant
Mm-hmm.
project. But it's more than that. That's why I always say the plant project is more than a plant shop. It's a place where people and plants grow, where the community grows. Because when someone sees someone like me,
Mm-hmm.
the color of my skin, the girl that has falls, big falls, mess ups, hiccups and stuff, and still keeps going, that's giving somebody else the strength that might not be there at that moment to go through or grow through what they're going through, but can see they can.
How do you feel like your background has shaped who you are? Like, now, tell us a little bit about your background for folks who may not know Bree, right?
Yeah.
And watch this. What is your background, and how do you feel like that has really shaped the person you become?
Well, I was a very entitled girl for a long time. I came from a well-to-do family. My mom and parents got me out. My mom and dad got me out of every single thing. Every time I felt that I needed something and it wasn't for me. Like, I've shoplifted. I've been in jail. I've never had. No, I had a PI, but I never had a DUI. I was just very into myself. I was very selfish, and I was the only child, so I only think about yourself. And then you always have someone there to pick you up when you fall. I think my background really helped me realize the importance of grace, the importance of understanding, patience, kindness, and those are all things that my sons have reinforced for me, and just made me even better as a mom, as a partner, as a business person, just learning from like all of those mistakes and those weaknesses and things that happen.
You think they're weaknesses?
We all have weaknesses.
Tell me about it.
I think that we don't want to talk about our weaknesses. I feel like, everybody's always interested in the message that people have to say, but they're not interested in the mess that gets you to that message. And I feel that, when people see these beautiful plant shops and curated and the wallpaper and all that jazz, it's like they just see that, but they don't see the girl that had all the bumps, the roads, and they just think they put you up at this place where, well, you've created this and you've done this and I fall all the damn time.
All the time. Do you hear me?
All the time. It's the getting up part. And that's the part that is just so hard. And that, everybody saw what I went through summer of 2021, and just getting up, and it's just like, and I still have my battles, and I still have my things that I'm still like getting up from, and that's stuff. But I'm a fighter. Yeah, I've always been a fighter.
I do want to talk about transparency. You talk about falling and getting up. We're going to get to some of that. But when it comes to transparency, even as a business owner, why is it important? You know what? Take that back. Not even as a business owner, as Bree. Yeah. Why is it important for you to share your wins and losses, especially when you're in the public eye, as we both are? Like, why is it important to share those?
Because Instagram just shows every filtered, curated, beautiful post, picture. And that's not life. Like, it isn't. And I had to learn that the hard way. We all feel that we have to be this certain look and this certain thing in society, and especially here in Dallas, and just
talk about it. Especially here in Dallas.
Like,
come on.
And it's not real. Like,
Yeah.
you know, my friend, my really good girlfriend, she's like, are you happy in real life?
Yeah.
You know, we're happy on these boxes and these pictures and this curated thing, but it's like, how do you really feel when you get up in the morning, when you go to sleep, when you like, that's the reality. That's the filter. And then it's like Instagram, social media, that's 0.3% of people's life.
Mm-hmm.
And people think, I feel like we're in a time now, people feel that since people are so accessible and they think that they know you, they think they have an idea of who you are, what you're doing and whatnot, when they have no idea at all.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, if you have no idea of who someone is or what they're doing or how they are, how can you hold somebody accountable? You don't even know what's in their life, or the backstory,
mm-hmm.
or what they're dealing with,
mm-hmm.
and all that.
And what got them there? Because to your point, Instagram is a big old filter.
Yeah.
And everybody putting up there what they want to put up there. So I do want to get in this. Before the Plant Project, there was your workshops, Bree Blooms.
Yes.
That was the place for uncomfortable conversations.
Yes.
Now, speaking of uncomfortable, you kind of alluded to this a little bit throughout our conversation already. You received backlash after allegations of not paying small businesses and what some would call bullying.
Yes.
Since then, you've publicly apologized. I do want to read part of your apology, part of the statement that you put out. You said, I have not always been the best person. Mm-hmm. These unfavorable traits within myself is something that I am taking actionable steps to correct and grow from. Growth is a process. Again, that's part of the statement. Mm-hmm. How did you feel when you had to release that statement?
Well, for one, I didn't have a publicist. Yeah. I did it myself.
Yeah.
First, when I wrote it, I've never talked about it. When I wrote it first, I had a lot of emotion in it. And I feel like when we respond out of emotion, we never really respond the way for the future of yourself. A lot of the times I would talk and speak to people in a way, not thinking about my future, but just thinking about the present. And when you do that, you it's a weakness. That was my weakness. Mm-hmm. That was my huge weakness. Just only thinking about my emotion, my now, thinking about myself instead of thinking about later. Thinking about what I'm growing for my sons, what I'm growing for myself, where I see I'm not going to be the same Bree I was 3 years ago. I'm not going to be the same Bree I was 10 years ago or 10 years from now or whatnot. It's kind of like how your parents used to always say what you like in your 20s, you're not like in your 30s, what you like in your 30s, not like in your 40s, and how like don't get married too young, like all the thing. And it's like, it's really true statements that our grandparents and stuff would say to us. So we all mess up, right? We all do things that we regret. We all do things that we like lost and lose and fall. But sometimes we never get to the root of why we do it.
Right.
So a lot of my stuff, it wasn't like, oh, people can call me a bully. People can call me a narcissist. People call it things like, honestly, maybe I was. Maybe I need to see it. But was I bullying in that situation? Maybe not at that moment. But have I bullied in the past? Maybe yes. So, one of my girlfriends, when all this, I learned out who my friends were during that process. I learned from people who were really there for me, who were there for just a glimpse of the glamour of Plant Project and being the first Black woman-owned plant shop in Texas, and the titles, and that season of 2020, 2021, when really people wanted to be allies and all that jazz. So I learned a lot of what I needed to see. I would not change a single thing, Tashara, about what happened July 2021.
Yeah. That was the summer of 2021. You're going to always remember that summer, I'm sure.
Always remember that summer. And I remember my girlfriend said out of New York, she was like, you get up, you make, I couldn't get out of bed for days. Like, it hit me. I mean, I got death threats. I got messages to my son. Carlos got messages. I mean, it was all the things that happened. And I held it all in. I never talked about it because I didn't want to respond in a way with emotion. I didn't respond how I usually respond to stuff. I didn't want to, because I respond out of anger. I was angry. I was hurt. And that's just not good times for you to. So, I still got up, even though when it's it was hella hard for me. Still got up, still did. My girlfriend was like, you get up, you make a strawberry spritzer, you create a beautiful tablescape, and you need to just decorate and do something. And she's like, you get up, it's going to be hard, and you're in the middle of the storm. And it's just like, you just get up. And I just kept getting up. I kept getting up every single day. How hard it was. And it's still hard.
Yeah. It's still hard.
Still hard.
That's what you ended on.
I did owe people money. I feel like that's the cost of doing business, and a lot of stuff as business owners. Um, it's hard to juggle business, and I feel that people just always talk about like the wins of like, oh, I'm getting this business, what you call it, but there's times where you fall behind. Unfortunately, I fell behind with other small businesses, so we feel it a little. You feel the pinch more.
Absolutely.
I think about like when you have to call a creditor and be like, hey, I can't pay this bill right now, I can't do the thing. I feel I could have communicated better. I feel that the plant project happened so fast, and the success of it happened so fast that, I mean, when I owed these, it was 5 vendors actually, it wasn't 200. Let's make that clear. Okay, it was 5 people, and then of course the one that who was quote unquote my friend, which paid everyone back. But it was like at times where, do I pay the light bill or do I pay for these balloons? Do I keep the food on the table for my kiddos, or do I what you call it? So I mean, it's figuring stuff out, and it's like my girlfriend said, it's all learning process. It's all what I learned where I needed to do, and what, like, you know what, don't order the damn balloons next time. You don't need them. You know, but it's like different things that you just don't look at that, and it's like 2017, 2019, 2020. It's just like things that you don't remember when stuff is just happening, and then people say, well, she's posting on Instagram, she's doing this with Dallas Math, she's doing all this stuff, doing all the thing. But it's like, you don't keep tally and go through all the stuff of like what's called. So I've matured a lot. I've learned a lot. I figured things out. And then also another thing is like, when people see success on Instagram, that doesn't mean that you have tons of money in the bank. You know, people see social media and see, you know, that's their idea. Like just said that.
People create their own perception
always.
Of any and everything.
Always.
So
that's another thing why you don't respond to everything. So people are already going to create their own thing.
So this is your moment to talk about it, right? What else in that situation? That was a big part of what has gotten you, not just to this point, but you said fall down, you pick yourself back up again. You've been picking yourself up. You already mentioned this. Every morning I wake up, I get it done. I wake up, I get it done. And it's day by day by day by day by day. You're getting stronger along with time. So, I mean, over that time, what has it been like? Have you sought out counseling or consulting or therapy or anything to help you get through some of that?
Well, I hired a publicist or one to like help, like, you know, well, I did. Now I don't have a publicist. I just, therapy has always helped too. And just being more honest with people. Just like, hey, I can't do it. Like, I can't order this. I can't, what's called, cutting back, learning. I mean, figuring out it's not how it looks online, and just like, you don't have to look a certain way for people that just never even cared about you in the beginning. So just do it the right way, the real way, and your people will find you and your people will follow you. And I just had to learn that the hard way. But the thing too that I think I never really talked about is like the plant project happened so fast. Like November 28th, 2020, I had the first thing. I spent $167 and it was all like stuff that I had here at my home. Bought $167 on plants, had a few people come in. And I didn't expect it to be what I expected. Like, I honestly wanted to make $500 a week from Plant Project, $2,000 a month to cover the rent. That's it. And it became something just bigger.
What have you learned with that very public experience? Well, one, let me ask you this so we can clear the air on all of this. Did we pay everyone back that was owed?
Yes.
Everyone has been paid back. So that's clear. What did you learn that I think other business owners, other wives, other moms, other people who are trying to start small businesses can learn in that very public experience? Because you're going to have to go through things. You're going to have to grow through a lot of stuff.
And it's not going to be my first. It's not going to be my last time growing through something publicly.
So what have you learned from that experience that can help somebody else and helped you too?
Like I said, just being completely honest, not with others, but with yourself. You know what you're capable of. You know what you can do. You know what you can afford. You know what you can't afford. You know what, like, to this day, I will not have like local vendors really in my shop here in Dallas because I can't handle like keeping up with their payment or figuring it out or which, because I just like, I have so much going on. And it's not that I don't want to pay, but it's like I have so much going on behind the scenes in my head. So it's just like, it's easier. Like if you want to come in and do something, then you're completely responsible for it. You keep up with it, come in, do a pop-up, ring it up through your own thing, figure out what y'all. So knowing what you are capable of doing and then sticking to that. I think that's just so important. And that's what I really have like figured out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How have you, you have on your website, Design the Life You Love.
Yeah.
Life You Love. I want to make sure I say that correctly. How did you design a life that you love?
I love growing. I know it sounds cheesy. I know it is. I love growing a greener tomorrow because we live in a time where we think about just now. We live in a time where we think about just like what's happening to us in this moment. We don't think about later. We don't think about what's to become or to become. And so I love that I am able to create something that feels good, not only for me, but for others, but most importantly for me. I love that it's beautiful because a lot of people thought that she closed her Dallas shop. She was in Houston. She ran away from Dallas and another thing. But it's my, what do you call it? It's my it's not my second chance, but it's just it's just a newness every time. It's new growth.
Yeah.
And it's just you see it in the plants, you see the life, you see what it's able to do for the community, you see what it's able to do for yourself. So I just think that that's just really.
Have these plants saved your life a time or two? Yeah. That's what people don't talk about. How's it been?
It'll be 5 years next year that Plant Project has been here. And people have no idea how much I put into this, how much my husband puts into this, how much my sons, my dad. It's been a lifesaver. Plant Project helped me get out the system. I was in the system for 17 years for being in trouble, doing other things, and I couldn't have gotten out without the Plant Project.
How has the Plant Project brought you hope?
That you could grow from anything. The times that you're thinking you're being buried is actually seed just being planted and ready to grow. I've had very dark times since that summer. And, how we say, Black women are strong. And, I've been called the bully. I've been called all the names. I've had brands reach out to other places and be like, oh, don't work with her and the thing. And it's I take the hits, I get up. I take the hits, get up. And, that's hard. So I look at with plants, they turn brown, they turn yellow. They have times where they're not growing or they're dormant, but they're still a plant. They're so beautiful. So, yeah. You are not going to do this to me.
I know you mentioned the Plant Project has done behind the scenes.
Plant Project and the Iman Project. For a long time, I was scared to use the Iman Project name because that's the name that took the biggest hit. That's the name that, that's the part that did the cancel culture. But it's my name. Bree Iman Clarke is my name. My mom gave me. It's a strong name. Iman is an African slave ship, and her best friend was a huge did African American studies, and that's what the game. So it's I love the Iman Project. I love my name, and I know when people ask, "Oh, do you want to just go Bree Clarke?" I know it's Bree Iman Clarke. I love that name, and I love what Iman Project has done. Iman Project has brought women of all types together And you didn't see that here in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas just didn't. Dallas was very, white stay with whites, Hispanic stay with Hispanics. I mean, I feel like when you and I first met, I even mentioned that to you, like, we have these where groups will they just do like that, and then you wanted to talk about it. I wasn't ready to talk about it then because I didn't know how to really like express myself. 2021 really taught me how to express myself in a different way. But no, Iman Project it's the first thing I created. It started off as like a little event planning company. When I used to own a restaurant in Houston. It's been with me before Carlos, before my twins. So, I was just scared to use it. It's like you Google Iman Project. Oh, that's the first thing. But it's like one bad thing comes up from does not outweigh and wash out all the amazing things that I still do and still have great. And that's stuff that we created from. Carlos and I have no loans. We have no credit. We have no investors. This is like, it is from us. It's our family. It's him and I. It's our boys and I. So
yeah, you mentioned because I feel like this is stuff we don't talk about. Yeah. Right. You mentioned you were in a dark space in 2021. What was that dark space for you?
I didn't want to be here. So it happened June 29th, or I think the live video. I don't know when it went live. I still today have not watched segments, the video, nothing. But I got calls and I got texts, and it's just like I got people come to the shop. I have, and I had a friend, I had a couple of friends, and I was just like, I just don't want to be here. I'm just tired. I just don't want to go on. And then you get mad at yourself for having those thoughts because it's like, gosh, are you that weak? Or you just, what you call it? And it's like, so then you don't want to talk about that because you don't want people to think like, oh, now you're being selfish, now you're thing. But it's just like, life is hard. And it gets harder. And people just don't talk about the hard parts of life unless it's Mental Health Month. Right. Or unless it's, the time to talk about it, or it's trending, or a hashtag and stuff like that. And especially, as Black women and as Black business owners, you're not going to get the grace and the chances like others do. And that's never going to happen.
I feel like you should have been shown some more grace in this situation.
No. I feel the people that were my people showed me the grace that I needed. So,
have you talked to any of the people who accused you of anything since then?
I've had a few come to apologize once they realized that it was more of like a smear campaign and had other, it was different goals behind it. Also, the way that I responded made me look different and in a different light, in a better light. But I think that I only really explained and talked to the people that, I've said I've never been open to it, but I feel that everything, organically happens.
Yeah. You mentioned some of the ones that realized maybe something else was at play.
Yeah.
Apologize. Did you ever apologize? Other than your public statement, directly to any of them?
No. To him, no.
No? Would you be willing to have a conversation?
No.
The two of you? No?
No.
Okay.
I'm healed, but not that healed.
Okay. She said she's going to keep it honest.
Yeah, not that healed.
Can we say maybe it'll take some more time?
I don't think I wouldn't say never.
Okay.
But I think that I'm not at that moment yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're still in therapy.
Yeah.
Therapy.
Exactly. Yeah. They're very, very much so.
Let me think.
I'm glad that I'm able to talk about it more. Like this is the first time I've ever talked about it. Like first time. Okay. I mean, I'll make little, captions and stuff like that. But yeah.
How does it feel talking about it?
It feels good.
Doesn't it feel so heavy when you have to carry something?
Oh, heavy. Yeah.
I've been there. Okay. Yeah. It feels heavy to have to carry it. Yeah. Yes, you got your family around you. You have people that love you. You have some support. Yeah. But it still feels heavy. Yeah. Holding that.
Yep. Definitely.
Yeah. Do we have a weight off? Just
we do have, just a little bit. We do have a weight off. We have a little, we have a little weight off. I feel that, and I'll say, I feel that some are deserving of, the ones that have come to me and talked to me and be like, oh, you know what, I completely don't, I understand why I don't understand why this person, this is not this quote unquote sister, that's not a girlfriend, that's not a friend to do this or whatnot, stuff like that. But yeah.
Would you be willing to sit down with some of these people and have a conversation? Eventually.
I don't know.
If you ever do,
yeah,
we're going to work it out.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay. Yeah,
All right.
I don't know. Not a yes, not a no.
All right.
Yeah.
What else you want to say to people that may have misunderstood or understood the situation and still feel a certain kind of way about it, even though all these years later? What do you have to say to them about just the process, getting here, being able to talk about it now?
You know, people will always have their idea of what they think or have their idea of who you are and what you're going through or what you're trying to figure out. You cannot change anybody's idea and perception of you. I really feel that, I mean, just recently I had a situation, I haven't talked about this, in downtown Lancaster. I was supposed to open a shop there and was going through it all. I was about to have moving in October, going through the thing. The person that actually owned the place, or one of the investors and stuff, actually reached out to me, wanted the plant shop there, and wanted all these things and wanted to move forward 100%. Okay, when do you want to take over this location? Then we met a couple Saturdays ago, sat down, and just like, oh, I heard what happened in 2021. It's like, I always believe in second chances and whatever. And so people will say that on one side, but then people, like I always say, people don't like the mess in the message. I explained to her like what happened, explained the thing. And, I was like, okay, this is what we went through, this is whatnot. And then all of a sudden, because she said how much it was connected to people in Bishop Arts and people in Oak Cliff, how much that's connected to Lancaster. And just like, well, I just think it'll be a better idea to go a different way. And I was like, well, that's just going off of what you've heard, what you haven't really gotten all the sides of it and stuff. Like you always say, it's 3 sides, actually 4 sides to a story. But learning from those things, and just, I really have gotten to a better place to not let people take away my power with stuff, not letting people make me feel a certain way about what I was growing through, what I'm trying to figure out, and what I'm still trying to figure out. I think that's just like really important thing about being a business. A business is more than just getting an LLC and a DBA.
Come on.
And it's so many different factors in it. It's more about the features. And, I think that really people are always about, that's why I even cut down on like media part of it. It's just like, I wrote my press releases. I wrote my pitches. I didn't think, I didn't have a publicist going out and getting all this stuff, but all I did was just tell my story.
Yeah.
That's all I did. I was always Bree, and I'm still Bree. Like, I'm still going to have my tone. I'm still going to be direct. I'm still going to say exactly what I mean, how I feel, what's on. That doesn't make you a bully. That doesn't make you a narcissist. Now, it may so make you that way because you're Black. And if certain ones see, certain colors see that and just don't like the way that you can say things this way and people not like how you say it, and people take it how they think that you're saying it. And I've had to learn that too. Yeah. And maybe change my tone a little bit and change my delivery. But I feel like that's just stuff that's growth. That's just things that how you talk in your 20s, you're not going to talk in your 30s. I'm 40 now. Yeah.
When did you turn 40?
January 11th.
Oh, so happy belated birthday.
Well, yeah, so I'm like, heck yeah, I'm different from 35 and 25 and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's just, but it's different now because you age and you go through your growth and your maturity publicly. Okay. You go through it through social media.
Yeah. Have you thought about, as someone who's also very direct, it's not lost on me why you were willing to do this interview with me. So anyways, as we wrap this up, what do you want to leave the people with?
Oh, gosh. Never stop rooting for others. I think that is just so huge. I root for the people that I may not even care for, but I don't know what they're going through. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. To this day, I will say I don't hate Kim. I don't hate anyone that talked about me, said their thing, did their thing, because I had a role to play in every single part of my story, every single chapter. Um, and you have to stop. What I really want to say is that stop putting people on a pedestal and putting people at the highest peak of what you think that they are to you.
Mm-hmm.
And then when something happens, when life happens, when you're humans, when human beings show their imperfection, that we are so hit and distraught with it. We are all imperfect, every last one of us. And we don't want to talk about our falls and our failures and our bumps and our things. So I will always keep sharing the highs, the lows, the in-betweens, anything. And I've never stopped since 2021. I've never stopped.
Yeah. Bree Clarke, everybody. Bree Iman Clarke, because we're going to say the full name, okay? And the story behind it.
Yes.
All right, give Bree a round of applause. And we got people in.